In defiance, Liu Wuhan refuses to give up the colored shoe is a dramatic and gripping tale from Sanyan Erpai, a collection of classic Chinese short stories compiled during the Ming and Qing dynasty. These stories, rich in folklore and morality lessons, explore themes of fate, deception, and human folly. This particular tale unfolds in the bustling street of Hangzhou during the Hongzhi era of Ming Dynasty, where a seemingly innocent romantic exchange spirals into a tragic series of misunderstandings and crimes. In the Ming Dynasty, during the reign of Emperor Hongzhi, a wealthy young man named Zhang Jin lived in Hangzhou. Orphanated early, he grew up without restraint, spending his days indulging in pleasure. One spring day, while on an outing near Shiguanzi Alley, he caught sight of a beautiful woman, Pan Shou'er, as she leaned out of an upstairs window, casually discarding the water from her morning toilette. Instantly smitten, Zhang Jin faked a cough to attract her attention. She glanced down, their eyes met, and in that fleeting moment, something sparked between them. Unable to forget her, Zhang Jin instructed his servant to note her household and resolved to return. The very next day, he sought out an old woman named Granny Lu, a seller of cosmetics, to act as a go-between. Granny Lu ascended the stairs of Pan's house, showering Pan Shou'er with compliments before revealing a handkerchief gifted by Zhang Jin as a token of his affection. Secretly intrigued by the young man, Pan Shou'er accepted his advances and in return sent down a single-colored shoe as a symbol of her favor. However, fate took a cruel turn. On her way to deliver the shoe, Granny Lu dropped the silk-wrapped package. It was picked up by her own son, Lu Wuhan, a cunning and unscrupulous man. Learning of the shoe's significance, Lu Wuhan devised a deceitful plan. He pretended fear, warning his mother that the Pan family had a reputation for ruthlessness, and that their involvement could endanger them both. She urged her to break off contact with Zhang Jin, leaving the young man bewildered and heartbroken. That very night, Lu Wuhan dressed handsomely and with the colored shoe in hand, arrived beneath Pan Shou'er's window. Following the pre-arranged signal, a soft cough, Pan Shou'er let down a long silk cloth. Climbing up, Lu Wuhan slipped into her chamber. In the dim candlelight, she mistook him for Zhang Jin. Thus began their secret affair, with Lu Wuhan returning night after night, whenever the weather allowed. Over time, Pan Shou'er's parents, Pan Yong and his wife, noticed their daughter's suspicious behavior. Confronted, she refused to confess. To keep a closer watch, they moved their room downstairs and took residence above. Days passed, and Lu Wuhan, eager for another rendezvous, was troubled by Pan Shou'er's sudden silence. His frustration grew with each night of unanswered signals. On the third night, drunk and enraged, he took a knife and a ladder to the Pan's residence. Finding an unlatched window, he slipped inside. Assuming Pan Shou'er had replaced him with another lover, he flew into a blind rage. Without hesitation, he murdered Pan Yong and his wife in cold blood, before fleeing into the night. The next morning, Pan Shou'er awoke to a creepy silence. Climbing the stairs, she was met with a gruesome sight of her parents' lifeless, blood-soaked bodies. Overcome with horror, she alerted the neighbors, and soon the authorities were involved. The magistrate suspected an illicit affair behind the crime, and pressured Pan Shou'er into revealing her lover's identity. Desperate, she named Zhang Jin. Zhang Jin was swiftly arrested. Despite his protests of innocence, the evidence against him seemed damning. Under torture, he was forced into a false confession and thrown into a death cell. However, during a later trial session, Zhang Jin insisted he had never been intimate with Pan Shou'er. To verify his claim, she described a scar on his left waist. Yet, when examined, Zhang Jin had no such mark. The magistrate realized a different man had deceived her. Summoning Granny Lu for interrogation, he soon extracted the truth. Lu Wuhan was arrested, and though he initially denied everything, he could not refute the mentioning of the scar. Faced with irrefutable evidence, he confessed to both the deception and the murders. The magistrate sentenced Liu Wuhan to death, while Granny Lu was exiled. Zhang Jin, though proven innocent of the crime, was still punished for his attempt at seduction and fined heavily. As for Pan Shou'er, the weight of her disgrace and her parents' death became unbearable. In an act of despair, she threw herself onto the magistrate's stone steps, shattering her skull. Her tragic demise marked the end of a sorrowful tale, a chain of tragedies all ignited by a single colored shoe. I find it fascinating how small, seemingly insignificant choices, like a servant dropping a package, triggered a chain of irreversible events. The psychological depth of the characters is also engaging. Zhang Jin's obsession, Pan Shou'er's naivety, Liu Wuhan's scheming, and the parents' tragic oversight all contribute to a layered, dramatic tale. It reminds me of a classical Chinese tragedy where fate and human flaws intertwine, showing how desire, deception, and bad luck can lead to ruin. The final scene, with Pan Shou'er's ending her own life in despair, leaves a lasting emotional impact. It's a cautionary tale about love, trust, and unforeseen consequences of small actions.